link onto Blackboard, so you can watch it back again if you want to. As I said before, the key part of this is me to give you the data rather than discuss it in detail. I'm certainly happy to, if you see something you'd like to clarify, to provide clarification on that. But for me to suggest anything at this stage may be influencing the approach you may take in addressing the problem, which is there at the top of your handout, which is the same thing from the assessment guide we handed out in week 1, but it gives you the actual attendance. So last year's average attendance was 1,514 attendees. You're looking at 50% interest at the game, and then for the remainder of the season, so looking at 227 extra people come along to watch Crusaders. We've used this aside for a couple of years. It actually works quite well. The fact that it's based off local data, even though local data is a couple of years old, is a strong point, I believe anyway, and allows us to sort of see how you connect social media with sports marketing and the idea of fans and engagement, and allows you to present hopefully unique ideas and how that goes. Because social media is so still new and evolving, every year we do it, you'll get different responses in terms of what people will come up with, what people can do, what's possible to do, and different platforms they may choose. Even if the platforms we focus on this are a couple of years old, there are different approaches that can be done. So it's quite a good one for that. So you can see there, I have elaborated in the handout in front of you on the addressing the following areas. So from this I'm going to get you to sort of select a target audience, and how that's comprised I'll leave that up to you. Look at which social media platforms you'll use to drive traffic and increase attendance. So what I think it used to say was which social media platforms we use to increase attendance. That's quite a big step. Social media use can be good, it can be engaging, but to get people to go from viewing your content on their social media platform to turning up the match is a real marketing challenge. Just because I watch look at your videos doesn't mean I'm going to go and buy a ticket. So you try to make those connections, and your best stab at that. No one expects you to have the absolute solution to how social media presence will get to increasing game day attendances. If you have that, quit this course now, start your own business, and you'll make lots of money by the time next week. Okay, so it's your best attempt to solve these sort of problems. What are some examples of the content that you use, specific examples used to drive traffic? How you know they'll drive traffic? We will look in the lecture on social media marketing and experimentation with social media sites. That every time, say for example, Crusaders runs a video on their social media stream, they may just be looking to see how it works, what the engagement is as an experiment, and then tweak things about that video, the way it's presented, or the timing in which it's launched, to look if it gets more attraction next time. Okay. All social media activity should be seen as an experiment that you're gathering data on, you're understanding how it works and what the context it works. And then this sort of quite big, significant question: does this increase in traffic lead to increased attendance? And articulating how you think that will occur, important one. And then what's your schedule? Okay, so this is the idea it's a campaign, how your campaign be carried out. You may do everything at the front of the season before the 1st September, and then after that very small bits of information going forward, or you may do a little bit of enticing stuff at the start of the season and really hit heavy as the season starts to get into the areas where the attendance starts to drop. It depends completely up to you. There is no right or wrong answer to that. The slides you see in front of you are based off work from Andrew Pegararo and Damien Gallagher. Damien's a member of the business school up in Magee, and from Merton University, and their research really provides us with one of the best sets of data on sports fans here in Northern Ireland. So the 1,049 response is something to be quite proud of. It's a very, very good response there. The PDF that you see in front of you, rather than PowerPoint slides, is available on Blackboard right now. It's up there, it's live, you can see it downloaded. As it says there, and that's called Part B, that slide deck in front of you, and this is Part A in your hands. Part B, the relevant slides are slides 7 to 44. You see the assignment script on the very last slide, I think slide 47, but the relevant ones are 7 to 44. Damien's graphs on small club marketing are interesting, but you wouldn't have to do any of that to put the information in your assessment. So, without further ado, I'll go through the data as we've got it, and then I said any clarification I'm happy to provide, and we'll go from there. Just check that. Yep. Okay. So, at this stage, it might be a little bit difficult to see. The names of the clubs are written vertically, one letter over the other. But just to show you across a number of Northern Irish Football League teams, the number of respondents that they received for this. So, looking across the top, the biggest reporting leagues are Linfield, Crusaders, Ballymena, Portadown, Glentoran, Glenavon, excuse my spelling on the document, Cliftonville, okay, and so on and so forth. So, for the top 3 or 4 sides, we've got good responses there. If I break that down by gender, I have 9% men and 10% women. And as Pereira and Gallagher show, the opportunity very much lies with the female respondents to the survey. In terms of female respondents and their teams, slightly different, whereas Crusaders is on top, Linfield, Ballymena, Blenheim, if that's how I pronounce it. How is it? How do you pronounce it? Yeah, okay. Glenavon, Cliftonville, okay, and so on and so forth. We don't ask you at any stage to break down for, say, ARDS, which is 9th or 10th in that list, which has 2 respondents. There's surely not enough respondents to have any meaningful information from that. But to even have 10s, 8s, 10s around for Cliftonville and Linfield gives us maybe indication for these bigger clubs and some of their respondents. So, but normally, the further you go down that list and the bar charts get smaller, the warning sign should stand for relying on that information too much. In terms of home game, attendance by gender at least 1 home game, which hopefully you should find quite interesting. Attendance by 16 plus home games. At least 1 away game by gender. And then 16 plus away games. So without giving anything away, the 10% of respondents that are women responding are very committed to following their football clubs. Whether that's an indication of women followers of football in general, or these percentage that respond to this survey, that's up to you to concern yourself with in your analysis. But as a piece of good data, it shows that the female respondents are very committed to their clubs. Yeah. A bit more difficult to see, but this is age breakdown. So under 18s, 18 to 24, 25 to 34, 35 to 44, 45 to 54, 55 to 64, and 65 plus. So when part of the assignment looks at picking a target group, one of the most basic ways of breaking up the market is by age. I hope you might do something a bit more applied than that, but generally, age is not a bad indicator, particularly when you're looking for social media usage. Do you want to know what social media platform happens to be the most accessible for all ages? Anyone? Anyone has a guess? Which is the most accessible? Which one piece of social media do most people find accessible? No, not quite. Facebook. Right. Across the age bands, those age bands on Facebook, it's fairly consistent. Snapchat would be the opposite. Around 7% of users of Snapchat tend to be under 24. Once again, it doesn't mean that one's preferred over the other, it's just showing that actually when you start digging into social media usage, you find that some platforms respond to certain ages. So if you did use age, you'd be linked towards certain platforms. But in terms of this information, what we have here, the idea of total respondent attendance at least 1 home game. So pretty much everyone did the survey, said at least 1 home game. Their frequency of attendance, and that varies quite a bit. Okay. From all 19 home games, so 16 to 18, 11 to 15, 6 to 12, and 1 to 5. Quite simply, if you don't get the connection, all 19 home games Well, they're there anyway. You wouldn't be trying to focus on that group. You have to, logically, I know you told me you realise that already. But you need to obviously think what group should I go after? What would be easier, getting a 16-game person to attend 17 games, or getting a 1-game person to attend 5 games? Are you a season ticket holder? You'll find in research that we suggest that season ticket holders are more committed fans and therefore are more likely to support the club. So the fact there's no for season ticket is a good thing because you're looking at brand new revenue. You can increase attendance by getting non-attending season ticket holders to come to matches. They do exist. People will buy a season ticket and not go to every game. That's their right, their choice. And you may go after those people. Alternatively, you go to people who have not got season tickets. Maybe more event attendees rather than the a high percentage of women were season ticket holders than for men. Now this is a marketing term we looked at very early on called vicarious identification. The other day I wear my Hawthorn Football Club top when I go shopping. I don't wear my Tesco t-shirt. Not only do I like my team, I happen to wear my merchandise outside. Those who wear merchandise on game days, so for both those sides, roughly 2/3 of all fans like to wear it. Maybe not the same 2/3, but for those two charts, 2/3 of on each question like to wear their merchandise either on match days or on non-match days. Okay. So that's my part one. That's the first part of the information, and that gives you my overview of the respondents. Those that little question mark and stuff are just, if you're using the slide, you'll see my notes on there. They're only basic starting points. So this is section 2, or part 2. This is an overview of response and the general social media use. There's 1,003 people replied to this. As you go through a survey, people will drop away. But don't think you have to worry. No, you do not have to worry too much about the data effects of non-responders in your response here. Okay. Of all the social media platforms that you use, here's what people use. So that list is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Google+, YouTube, LinkedIn, Pinterest. Maybe right up with me. So YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, the big users of those. Growing ones are Instagram and Snapchat. Other, please specify, sorry. No, I do not use any social media, is the bottom one. You obviously use the internet, it's an online questionnaire. So you can link things to the website as well. Others, some of these may no longer exist. Some of these may now be unbelievably popular. That is the shift in the social media thing. We're using data from 2016. I would say many more fans now use WhatsApp than did when they did the survey. Is that still running?
Yeah, it's really big community.
Is it? Right, okay. Yep. Okay. I would then ask you to Google that one so you find out about it. Irish League Supporters Forum. Okay, at this stage only 6 people were using it, whereas maybe now it's much more interesting. I don't have an absolute answer to say what social media tool you must use. I'm not expecting you to present in front of me and say you must use this one. It's how you justify your use of whatever tool you've chosen, how you explain how it works and how that drives traffic, and then maybe how that traffic leads to more ticket prices, the ticket sales. That's it. There's no way of me disproving what you present to me as long as you make a decent argument of why you've done it, like all university assignments. There's no wrong or right answer. So general usage of a number of sites, but also with age. Okay, so that's off the survey data, not off genuine. But generally, as I was saying before, Facebook is much more used across various groups. Frequency of social media use by type, okay, in a typical week. The majority of people on Facebook, less so on Twitter, and those two dominate. Social media used most often with age. Twitter, Facebook, fairly generic. And how often do you access social media? Multiple times a day, once per day, a few times per week. Most people access social media multiple times a day. Social media use by gender. Now I have a note on my slides, guys, because I'm using secondary data. Just these things down here, I think are general stats. They're not linked to Snapchat or for Instagram. See the difference in genders and various platforms. Used and most often used. 10 hours a week on social media, 14 hours a week on social media. Average followers 5 to 700. Part 3, respond on social media use and their favourite team. How often do you use social media in your favourite team? Some people quite a bit, but not as much as general use social media. So the way of looking at it is, if we go to social media, I'm not accessing my club information every time I go on social media, which you may seem quite logical, you may see as an opportunity. You see it not, but there's a slide there as well. The fact that many times per day people go on social media, which usually coincides with the fact that we also work. So most people are on social media at work. Versus how often you access social media in general. So when you go on the social media favourite team, what information are you after? Okay, match previews, match reviews, photos, managers' thoughts. They're all listed down the bottom. The current content that's frequently visited. Other information, live match updates, fixture info, TV channel highlights, away travel, club events, etc., etc. Current access for social media by age. This is favourite team sites by age. The next three slides are by age, by attendance, by season ticket, and by gender. No real difference between what people content currently use depending on gender. What people would like to see has given them some options that the researchers have provided them. So these options are not absolute, there may be more. You may have more ideas of things that can go on, given the passage of time between this research and your own ideas. But for those things that were asked, this is what respondents came back with. Some others. if we look at the possible additions by age, people want to see across various age groups. By attendance. You see these at the bottom of your sheet as well. Top through. By season ticket. And the last one by gender. So it's by different rankings. Same sort of information is sought after. As I said, 2016 data, things may have changed since then. You may infer other elements, you don't have to choose just those. The data they're provided hopefully gives you a background and think, okay, who's your customer base or potential customer base? You realise obviously you can break down those respondents by Crusaders fans. I think you can make the assumption in your assignment that I would not have any problem with, that apart from supporting the club, the fans seem to think fairly similar with each other. But just because they're split between clubs, their social media usage and what their interests are fairly similar. So you can take the full data even as to 10% there as an opportunity. A lot of the steering there is towards the gender balances and the opportunities that may rest with female football supporters. That's fine, that may be your choice. You do not have to choose that just because there's a big thing saying opportunity ahead. So there is no wrong and right answers. So you're justifying your decisions. If you list over that sheet onto the assessment assigned specification, is the next page. You'll see there the things you're assessed on, the criteria you're assessed on. This may not seem it at this stage because you're weeks away from the assessment. This assessment is trying to actually be a bit more light-hearted with what we do. It allows you to be creative and to engage with what is, guys, to be honest, the social media literature is whatever's out there on the internet at the moment. It's very, very difficult to find substantial things on social media that are anything more than 2 or 3 years old, which means academic literature has got a real weak point when it comes to social media. So things that have worked for other clubs, things that you've seen around the place, does that come from published peer-reviewed journals? The one time you hear me say this. Every other assessments and reports and stuff used to be from those sources, but with this you can be very creative with it. If a study done by a football club looked at increasing attendance and it worked, there is no reason why that, context depending, couldn't be a good source for you to provide, a backup for your ideas. So your assessment criteria is what extent the solution has merit. As I said before, as long as you justify your choices, arguably your choice has merit. Is it support with specific background information? Is there some use of third-party source, which is always good, what we want at university, and a little bit of common sense? They told us right there they want to see player performance reviews, inside stories and contests. Well, give the people what they want. It's the most basic solution. You may then have advanced stuff based on that. Engaging an effective speaker. You're selling a pitch. You're delivering a solution to someone's problem. You have to present that way. You have to understand maybe the jargon of social media, so you have to learn that yourself. But your presentation is your presentation. Regardless of what topic it is, it's that skills you're looking at developing. Bit there on engaging literature, referencing styles, and questions. So, how do you know it'll work? Will be probably my first question off the bat. Any queries or questions on that information? Oh, so it's up there on Blackboard. I wouldn't print it off because it's even black and white comes out quite poor copy. Use the PDF to go through things. If you want to draw graphs for your presentation, you can. You take screenshots and use those, but I'd rather create your own stuff. You've got 15 minutes to present in, which should be plenty of time to present this, including questions.
Who presented to you?
Me. Yeah,
Just you?
me, yeah. Stephen Mills, if we can make it in, who's the manager of NFL, but I can't guarantee he's going to. Unbelievably, 3 hours of student presentations doesn't really get most practitioners spitting a puff from my door, but I try to get people if I can. I used to have Damien, but Damien's moved to McGee. So we've done this assessment before and it works quite nicely, but undergrad and postgrad. So you see the time slots, you submit them over the week. I like to give value for money, that's why I probably have more sessions than I need. That's why the 13 weeks. You have a revision week, you have an exam, why not use a revision week? I thought actually rather than extend that too long, if we have more people present in week 1 and then a few people present in week 2, you can all then come on the revision session in week 2 and we're done by week 12. It's up to you. You have 3 sessions or more, but generally I felt that I might do it that way. But it does mean that there'll be an earlier start in week 11. Okay, 10, 20. Paul, being jammy, has obviously got in early and asked to do it in week 12 because he couldn't be here. I said, well, that's fine. But, if you have a time slot you'd like to do, come and see me and I'll put you in there. If you have any questions on that, feel free to ask. You haven't got the social media lecture yet. Okay, it's not up on the blackboard, it's not complete. But there'll be bits and pieces to give you the overview of the things you need. A lot of it are based on your own research as well. If you saw my social media research lecture from 2009, you would not want to know about it. It doesn't even include half the social media sites we just talked about. So it changes every year. Yeah.
How much referencing,
well, usually on a slide, you would, if you have just say for example, Sasista, who provided the information, those graphs you got in that little task over on game 39, I would probably put source Sasista 2018 on the slide, and then the reference list, the full detailed web address and the title of the page, whatever it was. And that's the sort of link they'll do. Whether it be an internet site, a social media site, a book or a journal, it all fits under that referencing guide. Yeah, it all fits in there. So it's all referenced in the same sort of way, but on the slide, I tend to make sure my audience knows where I got my information from. But when you're presenting, you don't necessarily say, oh, this information's from. You don't necessarily point out to it, it's for a visual thing.
But as far as, like you said, like this is supposed to be, like it's pretty open-ended and we're going to be creative with it.
Yeah, yes, but we are, yes, and so it's advising because I'm on video at the moment, the audio is recording. We are a university and you have to engage literature at this level to access the top marks. You look at those assessment criteria in that matrix, you can't get above 70 if you haven't got any other source backing up what you're doing. So although you could have a fantastic presentation based off pure intuition, 69 probably the top mark you could get. And the reason I say that is because we have external examiners, and you've got a new one this year, that monitor our program to make sure standards are applied. And so it says on that criteria thing, basically inability to reference brings you right down that grade. It means you can't go up to 75. So yeah, try to find some sources to back up your ideas, but that's usually maybe retrofitting the referencing process. What you're meant to do is read a whole bunch of stuff and then come together and put it all together, and that's release a reference list. But you might have an inkling, how do I go and prove that? I'll go and find a source to back me up. That gets you through the task.
And are we emailing you a copy of the PowerPoint? Or is
No, just like a copy of the slides.
Oh,
what happens is,
good.
as I'm presenting, it's very difficult. If you're talking about this slide here, and you start moving them through it, and I've got a query but I don't want to stop you, I can just see it on your slides in front of me and make a best guess. But if I haven't got it, I'm at the mercy of trying to take everything in. It just means, as I said in the policy module last semester, very difficult to mark without a handout. So it's just a courtesy. It doesn't have to be beautiful, full colour bound stuff. It's just a black and white guide to give me an idea what's going on. And the size, I hope I can read it. So, but yeah, good questions. Okay, guys, look, I'm sure you'll probably have questions arising in a couple of weeks anyway, so feel free to ask them. I am not on the campus over the next couple of weeks, but I will be on the email. So, if you've got a query, I'll get back to you. Otherwise, I will keep you in touch with April the 13th. And if Stephen is here, we'll definitely have class. If he's not, then there won't be a class. Hopefully Rob will be helping out if Stephen is available. But hopefully on April 20th, we'll have a be all and all with Rob and Stephen. And the social media lecture will go on as soon as I get it written up. It's due for, I think, week 9, which is after Easter. But I'll try and get up to the start of the Easter break, so we've got plenty of time with it. It'll be an audio lecture, so we'll hear once again dulcet tones before pitching. Well, have a very nice Easter break, and if you have a time slot you want to do, you come see me, and I will take the first person to scramble over the top of the other.